Half a day. My name is Mikita.
My name is Shearon.
And we'll be presenting facts about New Zealand. History. New Zealand has a rich and fascinating history reflecting their unique mix of Maori and European culture. Maori came from a group of islands in Polynesia in the South Pacific Ocean. According to them, the first Polynesian navigator to reach New Zealand was Kupe. He sailed across the Pacific on his waka from Hawaii using the stars and ocean currents as a navigational guide. Geography. New Zealand lies in the southwest Pacific near the center of the water hemisphere. It is about 1,000 miles east of Victoria and Tasmania, Australia. New Zealand is known for various landscapes within easy reach of each other. It consists of the North Island and the South Island. The North Island has a spine of mountain ranges running through the middle with several large plains. It has an irregular coastline, including a peninsula. The South Island is dominated by the Southern Alps, while a volcanic plateau covers much of the central North Island. New Zealand is mostly mountainous with volcanic peaks in the central north and fjords in the far southwest. Culture. Maori culture plays a role in everyday life in New Zealand, influencing everything from cuisine to customs and languages. The three official languages of New Zealand are English, Te Reo Māori, and New Zealand Sign Language. English is the main language, but around 4% of people speak Te Reo Māori, making it the second most commonly spoken language. The Māori language is considered a national tonga and is undergoing a revival. The Māori language television stations, language schools, and Language Week play a role in making sure Te Reo Māori remains a living language. People. The population of New Zealand today is made up of people from a range of backgrounds. 70% are of European descent, 16.5% are indigenous Māori, 15.1% Asian, and 8.1% non-Māori Pacific Islanders.
Economy and resources. New Zealand is dependent on international trade with other countries. It is the 53rd largest economy, with service sector making up a large portion of the GDP. In 2013, the service sector contributed to 63% of the GDP. Biggest industries include agriculture and horticulture sector, mining and fishing industries. Political status. New Zealand's government is democracy. Parties compete to win as many electorate votes as they can to earn seats in parliament. A party needs to win at least 5% of party vote or win an electorate seat. 21st century challenges. Increased house price. In 2010, houses became less affordable for the first-time home buyers, which shut out many non-ownership markets. Crime. Burglary, harassment, and fraud are the most common crimes committed in New Zealand. 68% were perpetrated against people and 32% against property. Maori people were more likely to be victims of criminal incidents in the past year, 65 years being the least victims and 20 to 29 years being the highest. Current news. New Zealand is at a risk of earthquakes and all coasts are at risk of tsunami. East Coast developed an emergency planning toolbox to identify the consequences of a large earthquake in the Hawke's Bay coast. The planning project was developed to support the Civil Defense Emergency Management Group, which would be most affected by. Judicial system. New Zealand judiciary system has two main courts, which are general and specialist courts that consist of 50 district courts in total. It has four primary functions. 1. To provide mechanism for dispute resolution. 2. To deliver authoritative rulings on the meaning and application of legislation. 3. To develop case law. And 4. Uphold the rule of law, personal liberty, and human rights. Famous people. Sir Edmund Hillary was New Zealand's greatest hero. He was the first to scale the summit of Mount Everest. He also devoted the rest of his life to fundraising to improve health, education, and environment. Sir Ernest Rutherford. Lord Ernest Rutherford was New Zealand's greatest scientist who first discovered the structure of the atom and successfully split the atom. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 1908. He was born 1871 and died 1937.
Ethnic diversity. Maori are the indigenous population of New Zealand. New Zealand also has a large migrant population, bringing a mixture of many ethnicities. The majority of them are of European descent, with the indigenous Maori being the largest minority, followed by Asians and non-Maori Pacific Islanders. Education. Education in New Zealand reflects their diverse society, which allows ethnic groups different abilities, religious beliefs, income levels, and ideas about teaching and learning. Early childhood education, being the first level, isn't compulsory, but around 96.8% of children attend. The second level of education is primary and secondary schools. School is compulsory from age 6 to 16. The education system for schools is made up of 13-year levels. A child's primary education starts at year 1 to year 8. Their secondary education starts at year 9 to year 13. At senior secondary school level, students begin to specialize in vocational learning. New Zealand state-funded universities offer degrees in large chance of subjects and strengthen in specialized professional degrees. This concludes our presentation. Thank you. This concludes our presentation. Thank you.